Hi everyone, Kelly from Local in Cuba. I just had another great conversation with an artist from Matanzas, actually a photographer, Sergio Martinez. He has his hands in a lot of different pots. He does a lot of different things, all related to photography, and I'm going to make sure and put all of his contact information, all of his social media platforms in the description below the video. But on top of all of that, he's just been a great friend. He literally lets me follow him around town when he's kind of going from venue to venue taking photographs, because event photography is his specialty and it's his gift. So I hope you enjoy. Please make sure to put something in the comments below. Let me know how you liked it. And also, if you like this content, there are more conversations coming your way. Next week, I'm actually going to be speaking to a dancer from Matanzas. So that's going to be pretty interesting also. And I'm going to post this on Facebook. I'm also going to put it on my YouTube channel. So head over there and check that out. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell so that you are notified when the next video is up. And that's it for now. Enjoy.
This is some of the things he has done.
Oh yeah. What is his name again?
Gilberto Subiaur.
Okay. You're gonna have to spell that for me.
Hello.
Hola.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
They came to look at rehearsal here at my home.
He got a rehearsal today, earlier. So I came here to make a recording of the rehearsal and an interview, and then I asked him if I can do the interview here, and he said, "Here we." So this is the, let me see if you can, I don't know, it's the camera.
Yeah, I can kind of get a sense.
Is that the stairs?
Wow, that's a lot of stairs. That's some ejercicio. So how are you?
I'm really fine.
Yeah.
I've been working this month. I'm doing some videos of for the social networks about artists, some actors, actresses, then some directors. So some kind of interview that what we are doing in the culture in Matanzas, because you know that the theaters, the performing arts, the musicians, they have stopped because they cannot work so far.
Yeah.
It's impossible because of the can I say pandemic?
Pandemic?
In English? Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's it.
I was just thinking the other day about the time, do you remember when we first met in person? I think we'd already been talking.
Yes, I do.
Do you remember where we were?
Yes, we met there in Matanzas. It was an activity in the patio Mano Mano.
No.
Was it? Was there?
I mean, yes, we did.
Was earlier?
Yeah, the first time.
Where?
No. The first time we met face to face was was at the Velasco Hotel. And
at the Velasco Hotel,
remember?
I remember now. Yes.
And you were there with your your wife and your two beautiful daughters. How old are they?
They are now 8 and 5.
Yeah.
8 years old and 5 years old.
And your first words to me, besides, "Hey, it's you," were, "Oh my goodness, you look so much younger in person."
Oh yes, I remember. You're really good in that. I always forget everything what happens in my life. But my wife says once that that's a characteristics of the people that are a little intelligent. They try to forget everything, so they miss a lot of things. I don't think so, but I remember so well that I told you that you have to change your picture, that the one you have on your Facebook page or something like that, and you did.
the reason
well, like now, like what you're watching now.
the reason that I remember is because that was a compliment, and I need to hang on to that for the rest of my life. So anybody who's watching this right now, however I look right now, I look much younger in person.
You do, no, but you look young now. You look fine.
So your wife and daughters, the point of this session, one of the ideas is because it's a little bit more intimate and personal, so that people who watch it, tourists, whomever, can sense more of like a connection, a personal connection, right? So I wanted to mention your wife and daughters, but what I really want to do is when I make this video, I want to put a photo up of you and your family, with your permission, of course. And do you know which photo I want to use?
I know, I don't.
It's the one where you guys are all wearing clown noses.
Oh, the clown noses out there. That's beautiful picture.
Are you okay if I put...
Yes, I'm okay with that.
All right.
In Cuba, it's like that.
So I want to start with, well, I think we already started, but tell me how you got started in photography, how old you were, and what prompted you to get into that art.
Well, I told to the people, and it's real, that I began doing pictures when I was really young. I was like a kid, because my mother, she had a camera, the Soviet Union.
Oh.
A kind of camera that is really old, and you know that the one with the rolls, no?
Yeah.
And we used that kind of camera. She was amateur, but she studied arts, so she was there, but she didn't paint at the time. So she used to take pictures of us every day. I mean, every month. Usually people do in the family, but she did it really good. I mean, I have really good picture from my first years, because she was a kind of artist. So she knew how to do a good picture in my childhood, and I remember that good. And I remember also that I took the camera when I was older, like 12 years old, and I began taking pictures. Okay. I was not that good in that time, of course, but I just can I did it like 2 or 3 times, because in that time everything changed and we didn't have analogic photography anymore. So we had digital cameras in that period. So I lose the connection with the cameras in that time, like perhaps 10 years. And I began doing photography again when I went to the school. I studied at college. I studied journalism. And that's why I had to do something about the photography, because we do it in the career. It's a kind of the activity we have. But it's not a lot. I mean, I did just like a semester, like a term in photography, and then I stopped taking pictures. When I began working for Melia Hotels Resorts, you know, it's a company of hotels.
Yeah.
They asked me to do the pictures for different hotels, and then I restart the time with the photography. And then, well, I decided that photography is more powerful than being a sales manager, what I used to be there. And I stopped with them. I quit with them to do photography in the street.
Wow.
So it was different. You know that Cuba is kind of different around the world. The people in other countries, they wouldn't leave a company of hotels to do photography. But in here, it's really different. I mean, people that work on their own, they can get some kind of release with when they are allowed to do some services that they don't have to grab the money from their salaries, they are really low in Cuba.
Yeah.
So that's why it's much better if you work on your own. So that's why I quit my job with Melia Hotels Resorts and began to take pictures in that time. And that was around 2016.
Just going back to what you said about camera with the film roll. I'm
Yes.
obviously quite a bit older than you, because I used to use those with my camera. That's all that was available. Just trying not to date myself, but yeah, I understand. And there are so many photographers in Matanzas. So many.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are self-taught, right?
I think that the city is beautiful. I mean, that's one of the reasons. I mean, there are people that are interested in arts in Matanzas. We call it the city of arts in Cuba, the Athens of Cuba.
Yes.
But actually, Matanzas is a beautiful city. It has 3 rivers that surrounds the city. And that's why there are many places where people can mix landscapes with the beaches or of the old city downtown, or they can go to this side of the city. For example, where I am now, that is close to the beach, and they can go and take some nice pictures. So there are people that from the early age, they are encouraged to take pictures with their phones or with digital cameras. So that I think that people are interested in this kind of art in Matanzas.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't remember now which was the photographer that said that, but he says one of them, they said that the pictures is complete by 2 persons. I mean, the photographers and the people that pose for the picture. And also it happens with the city and the places that you are. I mean, if you like what you see, you have to go and take the picture if you like it, and do an important, beautiful piece of art.
Yeah. So you do a lot of different things now, though, right? But I mean, they're all related to photography. Like you have the Cultura Matancera Facebook page. I don't know if it has a website. Yes. So you do work for them, right? Which is a state.
Yes, I work for Cultura Matancera. It's the Directorate of Culture in Matanzas. So they have here, they are in charge of the culture in the city, I mean, in the province itself. And then I take pictures for them, but I also write a post on Facebook. I mean, like, the social media manager.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh, social media.
Okay.
So that's what I do there.
Yeah.
And I do also photography for the Performing Arts Conseil.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
And
that's why I have taken pictures a lot of the theaters and the people performing in them.
I want to circle back to that in a second. You also you have your own portrait studio also, like your own portrait business.
Yes.
You do portraits.
Yes, I do portraits in the studio, and I also take pictures of landscapes. I think that everybody takes pictures of landscapes, something like captures the people a lot. But actually, it's beautiful. I mean, the work that you can develop with the photography is huge. I mean, you can do many things.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. For example, one of the things that I've been done nowadays is taking pictures of some dancers in Matanzas in a studio, and that's beautiful because the light and the things I could develop there is really nice. But nothing compares about taking pictures on the streets or taking pictures what the thing that happens daily.
Yeah. Just talking about the portraits in the studio, something else I wanted to say, when you take photos of people, when anybody is using people as their subject, to me, it can always be interesting and always different because people are always, especially if you're doing street photography or something like that, they're always moving. The light's always changing, the shape's always changing, the composition's always changing. So it's always interesting. Whereas with architecture or landscapes, it's a physical thing and it's set. So I personally find photos with people more interesting. So if we just kind of circle back around to doing things in a studio or taking photos of the events, to me, you totally shine in that genre, if you call it that, or that style. And so what I think is that photographers can do different kinds of things. They can do photograph landscapes, people in a studio, what have you. One of those things is going to end up looking really, really special because it's the thing that I think the artist what really ignites the one passion kind of deep inside them. And I see your photos at the theater and the performances in the street. It's incredible what you do with the light and the, you know, and these are, I mean, they're moving and I don't know how you capture all of that. And you have a real signature style. I can literally look at 10 photos in front of me of a performance at Salto by 10 different photographers, and I'll be able to pick yours out without your signature on it because it has a certain look, you know. So do you love the theater? Is that why it's so special when you do it? Like, do you love theater? Do you know what I mean?
I love it. I mean, I love theater. I love performing. I love also. Yesterday, I took some pictures of a guy, and he wanted me to take pictures of him with makeup. I mean, there was another artist and made a lot of makeup and feathers and things around.
Yeah.
And they are really exotic, and I like it a lot. But it's not the same. I mean, when you are in front of an artist, when you are in front of a performer, you can see the flow, you can see the sense of the other people, and you can go to this flow. You can leave yourself go through the people in the stage, the people in the other seats behind you, and you can get into the life in there. So that's what I appreciate a lot. It's the opportunity to get there and see the image of the theater with an eyes that you can give to another people, because the picture is like that. It's that you are using your eyes to tell other people what you see.
Yes.
So you are telling the people what you can feel in that performance, and that's why I try to get angles and different views. I don't care. Sometimes I don't care if there are heads inside my pictures. I mean, when you're at the theater, you have heads inside your view.
Yeah.
So it's normal. So that's why, I mean, well, I have a teacher was Pacheco. I think you haven't met Pacheco in Matanzas. It's like the dean of the photographers.
I've heard of him. I've seen his name.
Yes, there are two people that are really important here in Matanzas about photography. One of them is Segui, Juan Segui.
Okay.
He's a teacher of photography, but he is technical. I mean, he can introduce you to the techniques of picture. But Pacheco is a person that has been awarded in many international awards, and he's really good. He worked for the newspaper, and he is my teacher. So he told me sometimes that it doesn't matter if you see heads, if you see people, whatever is around you, is the way that you can see the image and you can translate it to the other people that are willing to know what has happened there. And also, it's important the colors. I mean, this is something important for the theater. I mean, when you're working, you have to know that the camera has some techniques, some different possibilities that your eyes doesn't have. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's your eyes that have the opportunity to see better than the camera, because the camera have the sensor. You know that sometimes the camera is lighter. Sometimes the camera could see more than your eyes because it's lighter. I mean the sensor and the diaphragm. I don't know how to say it in English. So you can open the lens more than you can do it in your routine. Yes, the aperture is bigger than the eyes sometimes, so you have more light in the camera. But in such a way, it's you who decide which is the color you are going to select for the camera, and that's important because the lights in the theater, they change sometimes the reality. And if you're going to show the pictures to other people, you cannot show a picture that is dramatically purple, for example, because the camera see purple in the show, but you know that that's not purple.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to switch a little and manage the colors when you are doing photography for theater, and that's the kind of secret that people sometimes said, I like your picture more, or I like your picture because they look more natural. I mean, actually, they are no more natural. They are work. I have to work with them
Edit them,
a
yeah.
lot. Edit them. But it's much better when you see the result like that.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed your colors and your depth of field. So it's interesting that you just mentioned the aperture, right? Like your
Thank you.
photos aren't flat. There's a lot of depth to them, but that takes skill in setting up the camera right to capture that. So it's amazing. I know that you do some collaborations also. I noticed a series at the hospital that you did with the
Yes.
doctors, which I thought was really lovely. I haven't had a chance to watch the entire thing yet, but I will. And I'm going to put a link in the description to this
Okay.
video as well so that people can watch that. But you make a statement in that, because it's an interview, right? The recording
Yes,
that I
it
saw
was
on
an
Facebook,
interview.
along with some photos of doctors that are working at the hospital there. And you make a statement about Cuban doctors being different than doctors in other places. Do you remember what you said there?
Yes, I remember.
Oh,
You
okay.
have a really good subtitle.
What's that?
That's good. You know, Spanish is better, just Spanish.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
right? Yeah, I
I said
understood most
yes.
of what you said.
Yes, I made that interview, but actually they cut the interview. I mean, that was not what I said completely. I mean, they cut the interview, so I couldn't explain it completely in the for the. I mean, I explained it well, but they cut it for the TV. So it looks like I said that the doctors are different in other places. It's not like that. I mean, I think that in other places the doctors are also truly they I don't know how to say it in English. They give their life for
Yeah,
the sick people. I mean, they are really brave
yeah,
in other places. That what I said was that in Cuba we have a lot of lack of everything, you
yes,
know, also in the medicine. So there are people that don't have the proper things to be protected
yeah,
sometimes. So, but they don't quit. I mean, they went to the work and they protect themselves as good as they can, as well as they can, and they don't quit. That at the beginning of the pandemic situation, I was reading and watching some videos on Facebook, and there were a lot of doctors that said that they quit because the government didn't give them the protection in other countries. I said, so they didn't went to work because they didn't have the protection they had to use. But the Cuban doctors, some of them had had to make their own protection. I mean, they have to find a way to do with textiles, with different clothes, another how to say the mask.
yeah,
So
masks, yeah,
sometimes it's not the best, I know, and there are a lot of difficulties, but they are kind of heroes because I know that they are doctor in another place with the things we work in here, they wouldn't go.
yeah. But
They just
that's very
that's what I
that's
want. That's what I tried to say. And also, when I took those pictures, I saw before many pictures of New York, and I remember Washington, New York was the mostly Italy, and the doctors in there they look really fancy. I mean, when I say fancy, I said that a lot of equipment that I didn't see here because we
yeah,
don't have it. It's just like that. So I went there and I took those doctors in Matanzas with the simple mask and some glasses, and they were really glad to work in there. They were really glad to give the solution of this problem we have in the entire world.
isn't that very characteristic of Cubans in general? Because you're always making do with what you have.
Yes.
You're extremely resourceful and ingenious, and you make it work because you have to. And Cuba's done remarkably well during COVID in terms of kind of keeping things under control, right? They've managed it really, really well. So
Yes.
yeah, I understand totally what you're saying.
I also see that the weather helped us. The weather has helped a little to
And-
Cuba
yeah,
because
and-
we are not a cold country.
But I
If we
think
were in
also
Canada,
the fact that you're an island, because our borders
Also-
have pretty much been
also.
open. I'm going to say pretty
Yes.
much. People have been getting in, and it's and we have lots of borders. So we're not an island. We're not isolated. I think that also helps. But Cuba's has been very on top of things right from the beginning. They didn't hesitate in kind of locking everything and everybody down. Of course, people are paying a different price for all of that too, right? But
okay.
the other thing I wanted to ask you, it must be really difficult to get gear and supplies for your craft, right? Like batteries and SD cards and cameras and
Yes,
lenses.
it's really difficult.
How do you deal with all of that?
Well, I have a lot of friends around the world, so the big budget for this, I just give it to a friend of mine really close to me. He lives in the United States, so when he comes to Cuba, I give him the money, and we have an account there in the United States. And when I want to buy something, I say, well, you buy me this or that, and he did it. He does it for me, so that's much better.
Yeah.
But actually, now it's really difficult. I mean, there are no planes,
nothing,
no ships, nothing to get here. I lost a 32 gigabyte card last week. I'm now working with a 2 gigabyte, just only 2 gigabytes for my camera. That's it. I cannot take videos or a lot of pictures there. That's like 60 pictures.
I know what I'm going to. I know what I'm gonna throw in my suitcase before I come the next time. Is SD cards.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, the other thing that you do, let's not forget this, and I'm going to put links to everything, like your Facebook, you're on Instagram, you have a couple of pages on Facebook. And you also do Airbnb experiences, correct? Not right now, of course.
Yes, I also did Airbnb. It's fun.
But people can find you on there, correct? You have, I think, 4 or 5 different experiences listed on there?
Well, I got like 9 experiences out there.
Oh.
But actually, there was like 4 or 5 things that they was on the top, and they were really nice. I used to have, I said I used to have because nowadays we don't have it, but I used to have the top experience in Varadero, which was, at the end they did the blue experience, but they began telling the snorkeling trip. It was on a snorkeling trip on the beach. So you went snorkeling, and I took pictures of the people on the water. So that was one of the first things I did in photography.
Underwater photography.
Underwater photography. It's beautiful. I mean, it's a kind of sense. It's not only, the pictures are beautiful, but swimming is like the deep sea is nice. It's like being flying. It's like flying. So I miss it a lot. It's one of the things I miss a lot about this pandemic situation, because it's been a year that I don't go to the sea. Yeah. So I don't swim in the blue ocean, like 10 or 5 meters deep, which is really nice because you feel like you have a really huge world around you with the fish and the corals and the different plants and animals you see there. So it's beautiful. But I also took pictures in that time, okay? It was really nice. I just enjoyed that experience a lot. It was, I was like more than 300 people. In a year, I had 539 people.
Wow.
Went with me with that experience.
That's a lot.
That was in 2019, 539 people. So more than one a day.
Yeah.
Went with me to do that experience. And that was really nice. And there was no one day I regretted it. It was really really nice. I mean, every time, and you met a lot of people in there. Airbnb, I mean, this is not an advertisement, but Airbnb, it was like a kind of flow, and it helps me to understand other cultures, other people, other point of view.
Regarding Airbnb experiences, that, that's going to come back online, right? When, we don't know when. Hopefully later this year, tourism will start again, and then you guys can, you can start your Airbnb experiences again. I just want to read one thing to finish this off, because I saw this review and it was about you. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it was really lengthy, but it was perfectly aligned with the way that I think about how you do your photography, particularly the theater performance stuff. So this was in Photographers of the Matanzas scene. Do you
Yes.
recognize? Okay, I want to read this,
Yes.
just in closing. Sergio Martinez has become a photographer who masterfully captures the essences of the scene, those that move in the light and shadow of the spaces, covered by the gestures of bodies that dance or mutate into characters, and also those of the figure theater. Sergio Martinez has become, always coexisting in him, into a sensitive photographer of the scene, testifying to an artistic reality that becomes history. Ta-da! And that is Sergio Martinez.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I mean,
I think there were 5 more.
He was drinking. He was drinking that day.
No,
Yes.
I think there were 5 more paragraphs along that same line. I didn't want to read through all of it. That's the essence right there. The essence of Sergio Martinez.
When he wrote that, I was actually so surprised, because he talked to me once and he told me, you're doing a good job, but you're not like other photographers that used to be the best. I mean, they are really good. You're doing sounds good, but you know that there are people that are really better than you. I mean, I'm not the best, I know. I don't think that the work is made of best persons on something. I mean, There are people that have different sensitivity, that have different colors, different size, and there are different capacities.
Yeah.
There are people that have different capacities in the work.
Yeah.
And you like better one or another, that's normal, that happens a lot. But it was really surprising to me to get that review and see, well, you was the one who told me once that I was like nothing. I said, well, something happens.
Yeah.
That's good.
You've turned it around for him at some point. So anyway, this is now more than an hour long. I'm going to have some heavy editing to do, but it's been a wonderful conversation. I'm so glad that we could take the time and do this, because you've shared a lot of stuff, and
I just want to say one more thing. I mean, I remember, for example, one day I met a person. Her name was Claire Bouvier, but she was a photographer in Canada for the French side. Claire Bouvier is his name. No, she speaks English. She speaks English.
Okay.
Yes. But her name was French. Well, she was amazing, also like you, and she came to Matanzas once, and I remember so well that I took pictures with her. And one moment of the experience, which is me taking pictures of the people, she said, "I want to take pictures of you." So she took my pictures. I mean, I was really surprised with that, and it was like this is the way that people can get in touch. I mean, when you find someone that wants to really meet you, that wants to really know what you are, what you do, what you have, which are your problems, and this is you. This is Claire Bouvier, but it's also Kelly
Baiko.
Repos.
That's actually my maiden name. Kelly Repos is my maiden name. Baiko it's my last name, but it was my ex-husband's name.
Kelly Baiko.
Kelly Baiko that's my name. It's Yugoslavian, by the way. My dad is Yugoslavian, so that's where that comes from. But I appreciate you saying that, though, because I do believe that, you know, people are so important, especially if you go to someplace different, a different culture like Cuba. You know, the best way to really connect with the culture is to connect with the people, because if you think about it, culture doesn't exist without people, right? Like politics, religion, art, everything. Nothing exists. Culture doesn't exist without people. They're at the center of everything. You know, the physical world, nature exists, but nothing else does. So I think it's important to get in touch with them, and that's why, you know, I want to do these conversations that are more casual and more intimate, but still cover all the bases, so people know what you do, so that when they come to Matanzas, they know to look you up, hopefully before they get there, to book something with you, and then they know a little bit more about you. So I thank you so much for your time, Sergio. Really, it's I really appreciate, and I appreciate your friendship too. I really appreciate you letting me hang out with you so much when you're taking photos around, and you just let me tag along. It's awesome.
Okay.
Anyway,
bye.
I'll let you go. Bye.
Well.
Bye.